You were born on a battlefield. Now, see where this long war began and where it ends. Israel. Join Derek and Sharon Gilbert and special guest Carl Tykrib in the Holy Land this October, where you'll see things like this. Well, of course, being in Nazareth, one of the first places you have to see is the recreation of Nazareth Village, which is located, the original Nazareth, somewhere inside what has now become the modern city of Nazareth. There's a nonprofit group that has recreated a first century village. So you see, even though it's not exactly in the spot where Nazareth that Jesus knew was located, it is similar in appearance to what life would have been like.
The village of Nazareth is immersive, and it allows you to understand what it would have been like to be a member of that village, because there are people dressed in costume. They are performing the same actions that you would have seen. And in fact, one of the many things we saw there was an olive press. You see olive trees everywhere, and you'll see these in the video that you're watching. Also, you see these beautiful animals, and they're the same types of goats and sheep and things that you would have seen in the original Nazareth. But you also, this is what amazed me, I found a threshing floor.
We're in Nazareth Village, which is a recreation of the first century village, the way it would have looked in the days of Jesus and the apostles. We're standing next to a threshing floor, which we are learning, Sharon and me, as we research a forthcoming book, was far more important symbolically and perhaps even spiritually than we have realized. The threshing floor of Arana, or Ornan, depending on where you find that in the Old Testament, is where David stopped through his sacrifice the slaughter of the Israelites for his sin of requiring a census. But we also find, and of course that was the site of the temple built by Solomon and the site now of the mosque, the Al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount. But we also find in Canaanite religion that the threshing floor of El, their creator god, on Mount Hermon, is where the spirits of the Rephaim, called warriors of Baal or travelers, in the sense that they travel or cross over from one plane of existence to another, traveled to the threshing floor of El, where he would speak words of revivification to resurrect the Rephaim. This is all part of the long supernatural war in which we are all deployed.
In our book, Veneration, I write about how threshing floors were important not only for communities, but also for communing with the beyond. They were thought of as portals to the spirit realm.
Join Derek and Sharon Gilbert and special guest researcher, author, and lecturer Carl Tykrib in Israel, October 19th through 30th, 2025. This is not the typical tour of Israel. For information and to reserve your place on the 2025 Gilbert House Tour of Israel, please log on to gilberthouse.org/travel. That's gilberthouse.org/travel.